Hey YouTube, this is BDG Comics, and today gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna bring you kind of two videos in one. I didn't actually do a comic book review video yesterday. Obviously, it was 4th of July weekend, and I celebrate 4th of July, and super busy and hanging out with family and stuff. So I didn't get time to finish all my comics until yesterday, and then that wasn't enough time to record a video, so I'm going to give you my top 5 from last week, and I'm also going to show you what I picked up today for New Comic Book Day. So let's start it off with the top 5 from last week. Right, top 5. And at number 5, I got She-Hulk, number 4. I picked up this variant cover with all the different She-Hulks on there. I thought that cover was super cool, so definitely wanted to get that one. Now, I'm not exactly sure why I like this series so much. It's typically, I think, a series that I wouldn't rather enjoy. It's pretty boring, to be honest, and it's kind of a series about Jennifer Walters, who is She-Hulk. She's just kind of living her life, and it's a lot of talking, a lot of hanging out, stuff like that. Very, I don't know the word, sitcom-esque, where it's just, her kind of hanging out. There's not really a whole lot of action. And so I'm not sure why I like it so much, but something about it is very endearing, and She-Hulk is just, I guess she's just a captivating personality, superhero kind of figure, character. Just really cool, and I do enjoy her interactions with Jack of Hearts and now Ben Grimm and Titania. This issue, there was like a Fight Club type thing that they're kind of building between She-Hulk and Titania and their friends. You just get a lot of lighthearted comedic elements in this, and I thought it was really good. And that is why that came in at number 5. All right, and number 4. And at number 4, I get Star Wars Darth Vader, issue number 24. And this is a Crimson Reign tie-in, but if you weren't reading Crimson Reign, you wouldn't really know that it was. It doesn't really specify that it is inside the story, I don't think. Just kind of, if you're following along, you'll see some similarities, some tie-in stuff there. The art is really awesome, I think, in this book. And this, as far as I know, is just a 2-part little kind of mini arc thing. And it features some of Anakin's friends from when he was, a kid, pod racing. And I just thought that was really cool. So probably won't continue the series from here, even though this one was really good. It's just, I kind of wanted it for that 2-part, like, little mini arc with guest appearances, I guess you should say. They're grown up now, though, so Anakin kind of seeing some familiar faces from his past, from when he was a kid, in his childhood. So I don't know, I thought that was interesting, and I really did enjoy the character interactions here, and the plot is pretty cool. I might continue it in the future. I'm not really sure, but it was good for what it was. And that was my number 4. Number 3. Iron Cat, number 1. Now, this was a really cool book. It's basically a Black Cat story. I think she was definitely the most prominent character in the issue, but the art was really good, and the plot was surprisingly good. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. It's Jed MacKay, pretty well-renowned writer, and the art was phenomenal, though, and I really, really did enjoy it. So I don't know, though, if like the whole series is going to be Black Cat focused. I'm guessing it's going to be mostly just interactions between Black Cat and Iron Cat, who actually is the lady who took Iron Cat's suit is one of Black Cat's friends from her like criminal past, or it's a very like James Bond 007 kind of story, at least in flashback, which is at least half of the book is flashbacks to like a heist gone wrong kind of thing. It was just really cool. It it was, I think I enjoyed it more than I expected. Maybe that's because it's such a Felicia driven episode. The art was great. Flashbacks were well designed and they didn't like throw you off, which happens a lot of times when people present time skips in books, or time jumps, I should say, not necessarily time skips, but flashbacks or time skips. They tend to throw people off, I think, readers. This one, they were very well designed and definitely added to the story. I thought it was a really well done issue, and I'm excited for number 2 to see where Jed MacKay takes the story. And I'm wondering, I can't remember exactly, I think Tony Stark was in the issue, but very little at the end, if he was. Oh yeah, he was actually, because he like locked her out of his tower, and she got all wet from the rain, and it was just well done. It was just a very good book. That was my number 3. My number 2. Life Zero number 5. Series is just outstanding so far. Marco Cicchetto is an absolute wizard. Such a talented artist. They really couldn't ask for somebody better than that to draw this book. It's just so good. It's very graphic and gory in all the right places, and the tone is gritty, but it's not. The art doesn't get muddied from that gritty tone, if that makes any sense. It's very vibrant and realistic, but beautifully drawn. I don't think this issue was particularly special for the whole series, considering that I put it at number 2 for the week. Just should be a testament to the series as a whole. In this issue, find out that a gut-wrenching moment from issue 3 turns out that it didn't have to happen, and it makes it, that much more gripping and heartbreaking. In issue 4, I kind of criticized it for not being very expressive. So the main character had to like shoot his wife. She got bit by a zombie and she didn't want to turn, but she at the same time wanted to see her daughter in the afterlife. So at the very end of the last issue, the main character pulls the trigger and there's just kind of no emotion shown, and it was weird. But in this one, they kind of go back to that moment and explain why no emotion was shown and why they kind of rushed through it. And turns out he didn't actually shoot her. His arm gets knocked away, the bullet goes astray, so she's still alive. And then they learn that, their daughter's murder didn't have to happen at all. Other than that, you get a lot of backstory about where this virus or whatever it is came from, this plague. And apparently it's not like a typical zombie contagion type thing. So overall, good issue, and definitely going to continue the series. It's way too awesome. All right, and my pick of the week. Batman the White Knight, or Beyond the White Knight, issue number 4, and I got this cool Duke Thomas Robin variant cover. So in this issue, we get Bruce and Joker, and, well, I should say Bruce's imagining of the Joker and how they're kind of starting to get along a little bit, which is a little weird. Obviously, Joker's been trying to kind of get along. It reminds me of a lot of the relationship of Wolverine and Deadpool in the Wolverine run that's going on right now, except this one is like done right. So basically Bruce has been the whole time kind of like pushing Joker aside and saying, just mean things, and obviously he well deserved, but not getting along with him. Joker has just kind of been egging on the friendship this whole time. And now it seems like Bruce is kind of involving Joker in his life a little bit more. At least his headspace imagining of the Joker, I should say. Um, so Terry is starting to realize that Derek Powers is like an authoritarian nut job and trying to build this like robot army to take over, Gotham and probably the nation, I would assume. Curious to see, how this little book wraps up and concludes in the future. I'm not sure if this is the penultimate issue, or I'm not sure exactly how many issues there are in this series, but it's really good. Beautifully drawn. Love the art, love the writing, love the pacing, love everything about it. And considering I didn't know anything really about White Knight coming into this, blown me away, to be honest. I'm not lost. I don't feel like, my lack of previous knowledge has just left me in the dust and, struggling to keep up. No, there's none of that there. It's just really good. And they've been building on all these great character moments throughout the entire book. Barbara's really awesome in this. It's really good. And the only critique that I have for it is there is not very much action itself in the book. And that is gotta be it. As far as my top 5 for last week, it was June 29th, New Comic Book Day, I believe. Might be the 30th. I think it was the 29th. Yeah, so that was my top 5 for last week's New Comic Book Day. And now we're going to get into this week's New Comic Book Day. Show you what I got in my fancy New Comic Book Day bag. Change there. All right. Let's go here. Comic Book Day. And let me know in the comments below if you actually like this secondary camera setup that I have to show you the new books that I get for New Comic Book Day. Hope helped you visualize some of them, get a better look at some of the covers, etc. Alright, so first off, we got Batman number 125, the new issue of the starting issue for the Chip Zdarsky run, Batman 125, and I really like this cover. This is the cover A. They do have a lot of other alternate covers, but I just really like this cover A, to be honest. And it's cheaper. It's not cardstock. All the variants are cardstock, so they're $1 more. I really like this one, so I went with it. And I will never say no to saving $1 on a comic book. Right, and then we got Batman Killing Time, number 5 of 6, so the penultimate issue from Tom King. And this series has been pretty good so far. It's been building up. Each issue, I think, has gotten a little bit better. Well, I think the first issue was better maybe than the second and third issue. But since then, it's only built up and gotten better and better, I think. The art has been amazing in this. I can't remember the author's first name. I think it's David Marquez. I think that sounds right. Let's see, where's the... I don't know where the... There should be... Maybe it's at the end. There's usually a thing at the end or somewhere that tells you their names. Ooh, where are we at? There we are. Yeah, David Marquez. So, yeah, this art has been phenomenal. A lot of DC's art has been lately, I think, especially on these Batman runs and like Dark Crisis, all the books that Joshua Williamson is writing, excluding like the Shadow War. The art was good in that, but just different. But Action Comics with Federici, there's just a lot of really awesome DC art lately. And we got Dark Crisis number 2 of 7. First issue, I think, was a little bit of a letdown, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of a setup, expositionary, buildings, building up sort of issue. So this one should be a little more entertaining, I think. Let's see. issue number 2. Flashpoint Beyond, issue number 3. This series has been incredible so far. Very excited to continue that. That's Subject 1. All right, and then Poison Ivy number 2. DC Heavy Week, actually. Really like this first issue, so hoping the second issue is just as good and not woke, ultra, lesbian, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn issue, and more of just like cool Poison Ivy villain issue. Hopefully it keeps up that way in the run, but I am here for it. And then I picked up Absolution number 1 from AWA Upshot. Aside from Image, this is probably my favorite indie developer and indie publisher. Yeah, just got good stuff. But they really killed it with Crimson Cage for me. So this looks pretty cool. Absolution. Have to check it out. Get a sneak peek at the art if we can. Like that panel. Ooh, that panel design is kind of weird. Huh, they got a weird panel design throughout here. It's like throughout the whole book, it's like that. It's almost like a weird stained glass window, sort of. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, next we got Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 2. Cool. I think that's an Alex Ross cover. Looks pretty sweet. Riding through the snow on a motorcycle. Probably through Germany or something like that. Yeah, we'll see. The first one was okay. There was good parts and there was not so good parts, so I was expecting kind of the same, to be honest, from that one. We'll see. I think I actually like the other book more, which is crazy, the Sam Wilson book. All right, and then we got Ghost Rider number 4, and I picked up this, I believe that's Peach Momoko. I think it's a Peach Momoko cover. But this is Ghost Rider number 4. Let's see if they have the cover credits in here. Let's see. Yeah, Peach Momoko is a variant cover artist. So, there. Peach Momoko variant cover artists. So, I think this is the Momoko cover. But I really like the cover more so than the original, the cover A. And I just think it's pretty cool. So, definitely excited to continue this story. About Ghost Rider, it seems like so far there is an overarching plot for Ghost Rider, but basically the issues have kind of been almost standalone in a way. All right, and then we got Carnage number 4. I'm loving this series so far. I don't really have much else to say about that, but this is the cover A. I couldn't refuse to get in the cover A, even though they had some sweet variant covers. This cover A was way too good. This series is just, I love it. I love the way it's drawn. Everything's brutal, but very vibrant colors and awesome art. And Ron B is doing, I think, a tremendous job portraying Carnage as a character. Very excited to continue that. All right, and then we picked up Prodigy number 1, or Prodigy, the Icarus Society number 1. I think this is actually like a second volume of this book, or this, I don't know, these characters maybe. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but it looked interesting. It's Mark Millar, and the art looks cool, so I thought I'd pick it up. I kind of wanted something more grounded and realistic after missing out on like Righteous Thirst for Vengeance and some of them other books, which I might eventually check out in a trade, but excited to give that one a go. And then we got Heavy Metal Drummer. I believe this is the last issue, number 6, from Behemoth Comics, written by Kiefer Finlow, and art from Emiliano Pliskin. Yeah, very vibrant art. I can't show probably too much in there because it gets kind of graphic and there's like nudity and stuff. Even though it's not like photorealistic or anything, it's very cartoony. But awesome book so far. Definitely excited to give that book a conclusion, or read a conclusion from it. All right, next up I got Spawn number 331. It's a really awesome cover. Beautiful cover. So yeah, I thought this was a really cool cover for Spawn. I think this is the variant, actually. They had two covers, and I think this is the variant. But either way, I thought it was cool. And I'm excited to read Spawn. I dropped the Scorched, and I think I'm just going to focus on the main Spawn title for now, just because I just don't know a lot about the Spawn universe, and I think this is my best chance to learn, to read the main title, which it makes sense. So I'm going to give that a go. And my last book that I picked up for the week is Twig number 3. And the first and second issues of this series were just an absolute joy. I've actually been reading them to my daughter, because every night we read books for bedtime. And we read the first issue probably 10 times before the second one came out. And she was just so hyped for the second one, and I was too. And then we read the second one a couple times. And then we're going to read the third one for the first time tonight. She's very excited, and I am too, because this series is awesome. It's beautiful too. Look at this art. Hold on, I'm trying to find a page. It's not too spoilery here. That's good enough. Very colorful, vibrant, kind of fantastical. There's lots of cool creatures and just environments, and I highly recommend this book. It looks kind of Scotty Kingish or Scotty Youngish, like the art style. And he wrote it, but he didn't do the art, even though it kind of looks like he might have done the art. He didn't do the art, but he did write this, and I think it's fantastic. Very cool, and I'm excited to read it. And that's pretty much it for this video. So I gave you a top 5 from last week, and I showed you what I picked up to read this week. And I'm going to try to get a review out a little bit earlier this week so that I don't feel swamped coming Tuesday. And I think if I get the video out a little bit earlier, it might do a little bit better. So that's pretty much it. And make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you picked up this week, or what books you really enjoyed from last week. Or I don't care what you tell me. Tell me that pancakes are purple. Doesn't matter to me, but just leave a comment down below, and I'll make sure to reply to it, or give you a heart, or I'll definitely engage with you a little bit. And then other than that, put your D in my subscribe. Until next time.